The room was dim, filled only with the low murmur of a baby show playing on the television. But your mind wasn't in the room. You were sitting on the living room couch, motionless, one hand tightly clutched over the top of your swollen belly. The baby bump, which had grown heavy and round with time, now throbbed beneath your palm. Jungkook had left just an hour ago for a sudden meeting. The first time he left your side into whole months. He had been so attentive, never letting you climb stairs alone, holding your hand while you walked, even refusing to sleep too deeply in case you needed him at night. But right now, he wasn't here, and something felt wrong. A strange tightness came in waves, starting from the sides of your belly and spreading across like a fist closing slowly. At first, you thought it was just another Braxton Hicks, those fake contractions, but this wasn't mild. This wasn't going away. Suddenly, the next wave came harder, ripping a gasp straight from your lungs. Yin, you cried, clutching the armrest so hard your knuckles turned white. Your entire belly went rigid. Your eyes widened in panic, your breath shortened. A bead of sweat rolled down your neck. No, not now. Please, not now, you whispered, your voice shaking. Before you could even reach for your phone, the sharp click of shoes echoed from the hallway. Two maids, alarmed by your cry, rushed into the living room. Mrs. Jeon, are you okay? One of them asked, voice laced with fear. You looked up at them, eyes watery, lips trembling. You didn't need to say anything. Your face was enough. Yin, please call Jungkook. Please. Your voice cracked mid-sentence as another pain came. This one sharper, stretching low in your abdomen like a cramp that refused to let go. You curled in slightly, grabbing a cushion for support. One maid immediately pulled out her phone to dial Jungkook. Another fetched the pre-packed hospital bag and ran towards you. Meanwhile, someone was already preparing warm water and mild pain relief tea, just in case. And then, click, the front door creaked open. Jungkook stepped in casually, still wearing his suit. A small smile was playing on his lips, a box of your favorite chocolates in his hand. He had picked them up on the way back, thinking he'd surprise you for staying strong in his absence. But the moment his eyes lifted, the world stopped. His smile vanished. His body went still. Your eyes met his. Tears instantly welled up in yours. The box of chocolates slipped from his hand and hit the floor with a soft thud, spilling everywhere. Jungkook, sweetheart, he whispered, stepping forward in shock. What's happening? Your arms reached out desperately, your body folding over with pain as you tried to speak. Yin, Jungkook, it's hurting. It's hurting so much. Double quotes dot into long strides. He was on his knees in front of you, gripping your legs gently. No wetness, no fluid. Not yet. His voice trembled. Jungkook, did your water break? You shook your head, panting, tears sliding down your cheeks. Yin, no, not yet. But Jungkook, it hurts like hell. It keeps coming. It's not stopping. You whimpered, clutching the sleeve of his shirt, your body folding over from another cramp. His hand flew to your face, gently wiping your tears with his thumbs. His heart was racing, but he forced his breath to slow. For your sake. Jungkook, it might be early labor, he said softly. Okay, baby, okay. Breathe. We're going to the hospital right now. I've got you. I'm here. He turned to the maid. Call the doctor. Tell the driver to bring the car up front. Now, you leaned forward and buried your face into his chest, your tears soaking his shirt as his arms wrapped tightly around you. He whispered comforting words into your hair as he helped you up, holding your body like you were made of glass. Jungkook, I've got you, sweetheart. I've got you. You're safe. You lay back on the hospital bed, your body trembling with exhaustion and pain. The crisp white sheets beneath you were wrinkled from your restless movements, and your hospital gown clung to your damp skin as sweat gathered from the intensity of each contraction. Tears streamed down your reddened cheeks, your nails digging painfully into Jungkook's arm, desperate to hold onto something steady. Jungkook sat beside you, close, so close. His chin rested softly on top of your head, and one of his hands kept massaging your side in slow, calming circles. The other hand gently cupped your own, rubbing your knuckles with his thumb. He couldn't cry, not in front of you, not when you were already this scared, but inside. His chest was tearing open. Every time you whimpered or sobbed, he could barely breathe. Watching you in this much pain made him feel completely helpless. Jungkook, shh, it's okay, baby, he whispered, kissing the crown of your head. Take deep breaths, just like that. I'm right here, sweetheart. You're doing so well. The doctor leaned over, glancing at the monitor before removing her gloves and speaking in a serious but calm tone. She's dilated. The baby is coming faster than expected, she said to the nurse, then turned to you and Jungkook. We need to shift her into the active labor room now. You still have some time, but not much. The real work is starting. Your heart dropped into your stomach, Yin. No, wait. You panicked, gripping Jungkook's shirt as your tears fell even faster. I'm not ready. Jungkook, I'm not. You choked on your words, but before the sobs could shake you apart, Jungkook leaned in suddenly and pressed his lips to yours. The kiss was so soft, warm, and grounding that it made your eyes shut tight. Then he kissed you again, longer and deeper, pouring all his strength and reassurance into it. His lips trembled as he held you close, refusing to let you see the storm of emotion hidden behind his eyes. He wrapped you tighter in his arms, as if trying to shield you from the fear and pain surrounding you. Pulling back just slightly, he pressed his forehead to yours and breathed with you, helping steady your racing heart. Jungkook, listen to me, he whispered. You are the strongest woman I've ever known. And you're mine, my woman, my wife, the love of my life. We're going to do this together. You hear me? You nodded through sobs, eyes still shut, your head buried in his chest, trying to calm your breathing. I love you so much, and I'm not going to let anything happen to you. You nodded through sobs, eyes still shut, your head buried in his chest, trying to calm your breathing. His arms stayed around you as the nurses came in to prepare the room. You could feel him tighten his hold like he was shielding you from the world. He placed one last kiss on your temple before whispering, Jungkook, it's time, sweetheart. We're finally going to meet our baby. Just hold on a little longer, and I swear, I won't let go. You held on to him as they wheeled you toward the delivery room, scared, but no longer alone, because his love was wrapped around you like armor. The labor room was brightly lit, yet everything around you felt like a blur. The only sound that grounded you was the rhythmic beeping of the fetal monitor, rising and falling with each passing second. Electrodes were strapped around your belly, keeping track of the baby's heartbeat and the strength of your contractions. You lay on the hospital bed in a hospital gown, your legs slightly bent, sweat gathering on your temples. Your hands were tightly clutching the sheets, and Jungkook sat right beside you, dressed in scrubs, his arm wrapped protectively around your head, while the other rested gently on your large belly. His fingers traced circles, trying to calm you, trying to calm himself, though his heart was beating louder than the monitor. The pain returned, sharper, deeper, like something inside you was twisting. Your breath hitched, and a scream escaped your lips as your back arched slightly off the bed. Your eyes clenched shut, teeth grinding as you tried not to panic, but your whole body was trembling. Jungkook's grip tightened on you as his other hand wiped a cool cloth over your burning forehead. His voice was soft but cracked, shaking as he whispered right beside your ear. Jungkook, breathe with me, love. In, out, in, out. You're doing amazing, okay? He wiped your forehead with a cold cloth, though his own hands were trembling. He had imagined this moment so many times, what he'd say, how he'd hold you, how strong he'd be, but none of that prepared him for the sight of you crying in pain, clinging to him like he was the only thing anchoring you to earth. Yin, I am scared, Jungkook. You whimpered through tears, barely able to speak. I know I should be strong, but it hurts so bad. I don't know if I can do this. Jungkook's chin quivered as he pressed his lips to your forehead, his own tears finally falling silently. You felt one drop land on your cheek, warm, soft, followed by another. He didn't hide it anymore. Jungkook, it's okay, baby, he whispered, his hand cradling the back of your head. It's okay to be scared. You're not alone. I'm right here, and I swear it'll be over soon. Just hold on a little longer, please. He kissed your forehead again, and this time, longer. You could feel the tremble in his chest as you leaned into him, sobbing against his collarbone. Jungkook, you're the strongest person I know, he whispered into your hair, holding you close, and I know you can do this. You've made it this far, just a little more. And then, your breath hitched, your entire body froze. You looked up at him, panic written all over your face. You clutched his wrist tightly when you felt it. Yin, ya, Jungkook, your voice shook. My water broke. His eyes widened, panic instantly sweeping over his face. He looked down quickly, then up at the nurses and doctors who had already noticed. The bed was being adjusted, the stirrups raised, and the room turned into motion. You could barely process it. Everything was moving so fast. Jungkook stared at the scene, but his body remained locked beside you, gripping your hand like his life depended on it. And then, your loudest scream yet ripped through the room. The contraction was almost blinding. You threw your head back in agony, your body curling in on itself, and the monitor's beep spiked rapidly. Jungkook's heart fell from his chest watching you like this. Jungkook, baby, it will be okay, he whispered, more to himself than to you. But the fear overtook him. His hands shook as he looked toward the doctors. Jungkook, please, please do something, he cried out again and again, wiping the sweat away from your face, his voice breaking entirely. She's in so much pain. Please help her. I can't watch her like this. He looked back down at your trembling body, whispering as his lips pressed to your cheek. Just hold on for me, love. Just a little more. I'm right here. I'm not leaving you. I swear you can do this. And then he heard the nurse's voice gently instruct. It's time to push. Your screams grew louder, raw, desperate, and sharp enough to tear through the walls. Each one made Jungkook flinch as if he were the one in pain. His whole body was trembling now, fingers digging into the mattress beside you, while his other arm tightly supported your shaking frame. He wanted to be strong. He had promised himself he would be strong for you. But your cries were breaking him apart piece by piece. His breathing turned uneven, and without realizing it, small hiccups began escaping his throat. His eyes were bloodshot red, his jaw clenched, his heart ripping apart, watching you in that much pain. This was supposed to be a beautiful moment, the day you both waited for. But right now, he couldn't feel joy, not while you were suffering like this. He had spent your whole marriage protecting you from even the slightest discomfort. He had rubbed your whole leg even when you just stubbed your toe, massaged your whole body when you got a mild back pain. How was he supposed to survive watching you go through this? Yin, Jungkook, it hurts, you sobbed, your voice nearly lost in the pain. It hurts so much. He couldn't hold it together anymore. His eyes shut tight, his forehead leaning against yours as his tears rolled down, mixing with yours. He had no more words left. His voice was gone, and his heart beat so painfully fast it felt like it could stop any moment. Still, he forced himself to speak, to be strong for you. Jungkook, hold on to me, baby. You can do this, he whispered, trembling. Just one more push. This is it. Everything we've dreamed of, our baby. It's almost here. You're almost there, sweetheart. Black spots started forming in front of Jungkook's eyes. His legs wobbled. He could barely stand. His body was begging to collapse, but his heart wouldn't allow it. He couldn't let go. He had to stay by your side, no matter what. Jungkook, I'm here. I've got you, he whispered again, kissing your temple, his lips wet with tears and sweat. I'm here. I'm right here, he whispered, voice cracking. Don't let go of me, baby. I'm not leaving. Push in. Just a little more. I swear, it's almost over, you cried out again, this time a scream so loud and raw that it echoed through the room. It shook him, his vision swam, his fingers dug into the bedrail, into your shoulder. Yin, Jungkook, you cried out for him one last time, and that was it, one final, desperate push. And then, suddenly, piercing through the chaos, came the sound that made everything stop. The tiny, sharp cry of your newborn baby filled the room. A scream, but not of pain. A scream of life. Your screams died out, your chest heaved with exhaustion, and Jungkook just froze. His ears rang, his body went numb. That cry wasn't yours, it was your baby's, his baby. He looked down at you, your face pale, your lips trembling with disbelief. You felt his arms lock around you, his whole body trembling as he buried your face into his neck and cried, sobbed, harder than he ever had in his life. He didn't even try to stop it anymore. Jungkook, you did it, he choked out. You did it, baby, he whispered again and again, his voice broken and thick with tears. You did it. I'm so proud of you. So proud of you, Yin. A small, exhausted smile tugged at your lips despite the pain still wrapping around your body. You could barely hold yourself upright, but the moment you caught a glimpse of the tiny newborn in the doctor's hands, your heart clenched, not in fear or pain this time, but in awe. You turned your head toward Jungkook, your throat dry and voice cracking. Yin, Jungkook, our baby, you whispered, eyes barely open. But Jungkook didn't lift his head. He was still collapsed against your shoulder, arms wrapped tightly around your body, clinging to you as though letting go might break something inside him. His chest was heaving with every sob you tried to suppress. His shoulders trembled, and his tear-stained cheek was buried in the curve of your neck, lips trembling as he whispered again and again. Jungkook, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Yin. You were in so much pain, oh God, and I couldn't do anything. Yin, I'm so sorry. Your heart swelled painfully at his words. Your whole body still ached, your legs weak, and your chest sore from crying. But none of it mattered anymore, because even now, when your child had just come into the world, Jungkook's first instinct was to hold you, not look at the baby. His world was still you. Yin, Jungkook, you whispered gently, your voice hoarse but calm. He didn't respond. You could feel the way his hands gripped your hospital gown tighter, his chest still shaking with quiet sobs. You raised your trembling fingers and patted his back softly, your voice barely above a breath. Look. His head lifted slowly. His face was wrecked, red eyes swollen, nose running, lips pale. His hair clung to his damp forehead, and every line on his face spoke of panic, guilt, and love so deep it almost hurt to look at him. He followed your gaze to the nurse standing near your bed, gently rocking the baby in her arms. The nurse gave him a soft smile, and the moment Jungkook's eyes landed on his daughter, time seemed to pause. He inhaled sharply, his chest expanding, fingers frozen mid-air, lips parting in silent awe. Jungkook, she's here, he murmured, like he couldn't believe it. But the very next moment, his expression turned to guilt again. He looked back at you. His voice cracked. It was all you. I was so scared. I couldn't even support you properly. I was. Yin, don't you dare say that. You cut him off, suddenly stronger than you had felt in hours. Your hand rose, weakly but firmly, and you slapped his shoulder. His eyes widened slightly in surprise, but before he could react, your fingers reached up and pushed his damp hair away from his forehead. And just like that, he did the same. His hand came to your head, sweeping your hair back from your tired, sweaty face. Then he leaned in, kissing you everywhere, your cheeks, your jaw, your temples. His lips trembled against your skin, catching on every drop of sweat, every tear that had dried on your face. He didn't leave a single inch untouched. Yin, if it wasn't for your strength, I wouldn't have made it, you whispered through your tired smile, eyes brimming with tears again. He shook his head softly. Jungkook, shh. Don't say that, stupid, he whispered, and then he kissed your lips gently, slowly. And then the nurse stepped forward with the tiniest bundle wrapped in white. Here, she said with a smile, her voice soft. Take her. Your hands trembled as you reached forward. Jungkook immediately moved aside just enough to give you room. Though he still kept one hand on your back for support, your arms wrapped around the baby as gently as possible, and when you pulled her close to your chest, it felt like the entire universe had landed in your arms. You stared at her in wonder, eyes closed, cheeks soft and pink, tiny lips twitching with the remains of her cries. Yin, she's beautiful. You breathe out. Jungkook let out a small, broken laugh beside you, and his hand reached to softly stroke her tiny head. His eyes shone, filled with everything he couldn't say in words. Jungkook, oh, look at her, he whispered, she's perfect. Just as Jungkook pressed a kiss on your temple, holding you and the baby close, there was a soft knock on the door followed by the gentle creak as it slowly opened. The doctor peeked in with a kind smile. They're ready now, you may come in. And within seconds, Jungkook's mother and your parents stepped inside, faces flushed with emotion, eyes wide with worry and overwhelming relief. Jungkook's mother immediately brought a trembling hand to her lips as soon as she saw you cradling the baby, while your own mother burst into quiet sobs, clutching her chest. Oh my God, she whispered, her voice choked. My baby had a baby. Jungkook slowly stood upright, gently keeping one arm around your back to support you and nodded toward them, silently inviting them closer. His mother moved first, carefully approaching your side with a softness her eyes glossed over as they landed on the tiny bundle in your arms. She's beautiful, she whispered, barely able to get the words out. She looks just like you, Yin, but she has Jungkook's lips. You smiled weakly, tired but glowing. As your eyes filled with fresh tears, you looked down at your daughter again, feeling her small body warm against your chest. Your father was the last to step forward, his hands clasped behind his back, trying hard to stay composed. But one look at you, your disheveled hair, pale lips, red eyes, and the tiny child on your chest, and he lost it. A tear rolled down his cheek silently. You were so brave, he whispered. I'm so proud of you. Jungkook gently reached out, placing a hand on your father's shoulder as a quiet gesture of support. Jungkook, she did everything, Dad, all of it. She was stronger than anyone I've ever seen. Your mother slowly reached for the baby, asking quietly, may I hold her? With a soft nod, Jungkook helped guide your arms, making sure your tired body wasn't strained. Your mother carefully took the baby in her arms, cradling her like she was the most delicate thing on earth. Oh, sweetheart, she murmured, rocking the baby gently. You brought her into this world with so much strength. She's lucky to have you as her mother. Jungkook stood beside you, his hand never leaving yours as the family took turns, admiring the baby girl. The warmth in the room grew heavier with love, joy, and healing. There were tears, but they were the kind that washed away the past, not dragged it back. It had been 10 long, emotional days since you gave birth to your baby girl, a delicate miracle, now curled against your chest, suckling softly with her tiny fists clenched against your skin. And yet, you felt far from whole. Your body still ached, sore and exhausted in every possible way. Your hips throbbed, your breasts burned from the constant feeding, and the fog of painkillers made your mind wander like it was floating far away. The emotional weight was heavier. Every time Jungkook looked at you with love, the lump in your throat grew tighter. His kindness overwhelmed you more than the pain did, like your heart wasn't sure how to handle being cared for so tenderly. You sat sideways on his lap, your baby swaddled to your chest, her lips latched and her breathing light and rhythmic. It was early morning, the sunlight slipping through the curtains in soft golden lines across the bed. Jungkook cradled you with both arms. One hand carefully stroked your hair, combing it away from your face, and his other hand reached for the bowl of warm soup he'd placed on the nightstand, occasionally lifting a spoon to your lips. He hadn't slept much in the last 10 days, but the devotion in his eyes never dimmed. You felt safe, yet emotionally flooded. You leaned your head against his shoulder, blinking slowly. The haze of medication made you talk without thinking. Yin, when I was sleeping last night, you murmured, voice just a whisper, almost like you were talking to yourself. Jungkook looked down immediately, his grip tightening protectively around your waist. Jungkook, what happened, baby? He asked, concerned. You looked up at him, eyes slightly teary from fatigue, lips turned into a soft pout. Yin, you were in your sleep, you whispered, frowning a little. They're already sore. Jungkook froze, his face dropped. His eyes widened in shock, and he immediately looked down at you, guilt rushing over his face. His cheeks flushed, and the tips of his ears turned red. Jungkook, WH? What? Oh my god, baby. I'm so sorry. I didn't even realize I was doing that. I swear I didn't know. He looked genuinely shaken, his gaze darting from your chest to your face like he was afraid he'd done irreparable damage. Jungkook, I didn't mean to hurt you. I would never. God, I'm so sorry. I'll be more careful. I should have known. His voice cracked with guilt as he leaned down and kissed your cheek over and over, his lips trembling against your skin. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You smiled softly, your fingers lightly brushing over his forearm in reassurance. Yin, it's okay, you whispered, your voice barely audible. It's not like I didn't enjoy it. It just hurt a little. You felt him pause, then his lips curved softly against your cheek. A shy smile spread across his face as he let out a breathy chuckle. Jungkook, God, baby, why do you say things like that when you know I'm trying to behave? He whispered with a smirk. You giggled, cheeks flushed, and looked down at your baby girl, who was still feeding peacefully. Jungkook leaned in, nose nuzzling your cheek as his lips hovered close. Jungkook, you're just so soft and warm, and I don't know, my hands just find you on their own, even when I'm asleep. You looked away with a flustered smile, one hand gently stroking your baby's tiny head, trying to distract yourself. Yin, is that so? He leaned closer, brushing his lips against the shell of your ear. His voice dipped low, deep and sinful. Jungkook, I'll be gentle today, he whispered. I promise. I won't let them hurt. I'll kiss them better. Yeah. A soft, cheerful laugh slipped out of you before you could stop it. The sound made the baby unlatch for a moment, letting out a small noise of protest. Oh, no. Come here, little princess. Jungkook chuckled, gently guiding her back to your breast with the softest touch. Then he looked at you again, his gaze full of unspoken affection. His hand cradled the back of your head as he rested his forehead against your temple, eyes fluttering shut. Jungkook, thank you for this, he whispered. Thank you for giving me you and her. Your lips parted as your heart melted, Your free hand gently cupped his jaw, and the two of you continued talking softly. Once the baby finished nursing, you gently shifted her tiny body into Jungkook's waiting arms. His hands instinctively cradled her with the kind of ease only a devoted father could master. He held her close, her soft cheek resting against his broad shoulder as he began to sway gently side to side. Yin, make sure she burps at least twice. You mumbled through a yawn, your voice tired but warm as you slowly leaned back against the mound of pillows. Jungkook, yes, ma'am, Jungkook replied playfully, glancing at you with a crooked grin that tried to hide how exhausted he was too. He stood up slowly, careful not to wake the little one, and began walking gently around the room. His palm moved in slow, firm circles on her back as he whispered the silliest things. Come on, little bug, let it out. Be a good girl for your tired mommy. You smiled faintly, watching the two most precious people in your life from the comfort of the bed. Your baby, so small, curled against Jungkook's strong frame, and Jungkook, still in his pajama pants, hair a bit messy, his face slightly puffy from sleep, but somehow, he looked like perfection to you. As the minutes passed, your eyes grew heavier, your body surrendering to the exhaustion. Your belly was warm with soup, your baby was fed, and your heart, it was resting peacefully. Your gaze followed Jungkook as he made slow, rhythmic laps around the room, humming softly and talking to the baby in a tone that made everything feel safe. Eventually, your eyes drifted shut completely, sleep stealing you before you even realized it. Jungkook looked over just in time to see your head fall to the side, your mouth parting slightly as your breathing softened. A gentle smile crept onto his lips. After a few more minutes, the baby finally gave a small hiccup and let out the tiniest burp. Jungkook chuckled softly. Jungkook, there we go, he whispered, gently patting her back. That's my girl. He walked back to the bed and carefully laid her down beside you. Your arm was still loosely curled, so he tucked her right into that space. He covered both of you with a warm blanket, then adjusted another pillow on her side to keep her from rolling over. Then he paused. His eyes moved slowly between your sleeping face and your daughter's tiny chest rising and falling beside you. He leaned down and kissed your forehead first, soft and lingering, before kissing the baby's head, which smelled faintly of milk and baby lotion. Jungkook, so adorable, he murmured, his voice full of awe. He sat on the edge of the bed for a moment longer, just watching the two of you sleep. After a few more quiet minutes, Jungkook finally stood up. He grabbed the used soup bowl and spoon from the nightstand, scooped up his laptop, and tiptoed out of the room without making a single sound. He knew the next few hours were golden. You were finally resting. The baby was full and content, and he had a few moments to get some work done while his whole world slept peacefully just behind that door. It had been nearly 2 hours since Jungkook left the bedroom. Buried deep in work on his laptop, the quiet clack of keys and faint hum of focus surrounded him. The maid had already placed the food on the dining table and left silently, not wanting to disturb him. Jungkook didn't even notice her leave. He was that focused. His glasses hung slightly low on his nose, brows furrowed in concentration, fingers moving swiftly across the keyboard. Just as he scrolled through another page, he sensed a presence, slow, soft footsteps from behind. Looking up instinctively, his expression changed instantly. His lips curled into a soft, surprised smile, eyes lighting up in quiet amusement. You stood there like a sleepy little angel, hair messy, eyes still heavy with sleep, holding a pillow against your chest. You looked like you hadn't fully returned from dreamland. A smile tugged at Jungkook's lips as he placed his laptop aside on the coffee table. Jungkook, come here, baby. Did you sleep well? He asked gently, patting his lap in invitation, his arms already spreading out, waiting for you. You let out a small sigh and slowly walked toward him, your voice barely above a whisper as you spoke. Yin, I didn't see you in the room, so I put the baby in the crib and came down. Jungkook smiled again, loving the way you always updated him with every little thing. He found it adorable. Jungkook, oh, he smiled warmly, arms opening wider as you approached. You did good. Want to sleep some more? You simply nodded and climbed into his lap without hesitation and curled into him, arms wrapping tightly around his shoulders. He adjusted you softly, then slid off his glasses and tossed them aside. One arm around your waist and the other gently rubbing your back, fingers trailing softly up and down your spine. Jungkook, is my baby okay, hum? You seem a little down. Are you overthinking something? You shook your head lightly against him, but your voice was softer than before. Yin, I just don't feel good. He pressed his chin gently on your shoulder and whispered back, voice tender and reassuring. Jungkook, It happens sometimes after a nap. Your body just needs time to wake up fully. You'll feel better soon, I promise. His warm hand snuck beneath your top, rubbing comforting strokes down your bare back. His touch was slow and careful, trying to relax you, until suddenly, your voice trembled a little. You hesitated. Yin, you started, stopping midway. He leaned back slightly, cupping your cheek with concern. Jungkook, your eyes met his, then traveled down to his jaw where your fingers absent-mindedly traced the line of it. You swallowed. Yin, we haven't kissed deeply in so long. ID came out fragile, almost a confession. For a second, he just stared, and then a wide, heart-fluttering smile broke across his face, so full of love it nearly made you forget how to breathe. It lit his eyes like a boy being told he's missed. His arm reached up and cradled the back of your neck as he brought your forehead to his. Jungkook, you're so right to say that. Darling, I haven't kissed you properly in so long. You nodded slowly, burying your face against his chest again. Yin, we're always busy with the baby, and when you do kiss me, it's always just for a few seconds. I miss you, Jungkook. I want to kiss you for minutes, hours, just kiss you endlessly. He chuckled lowly, his thumb brushing your bottom lip now. His smile wouldn't leave his face, not for a second. It clung to his lips like it belonged there, as if your presence alone was enough to fill every corner of his world with joy. And honestly, you adored it. You loved how just a few teasing words from you could turn the strong, composed man you married into a flustered, blushing mess. You tilted your head slightly, your voice quiet and soft as your fingers played with the collar of his shirt. Yin, so, can we? You whispered softly. Jungkook leaned in without hesitation. His nose nudged yours tenderly, rubbing against it in a butterfly-like gesture that made your stomach flutter. His lips brushed the tip of your nose before he whispered, voice a low murmur against your skin. Jungkook, if you ever feel like I'm not kissing you enough. His tone dropped, serious and sincere now. Just grab my collar, throw me on the bed, and do whatever you want to me, baby. Don't hold yourself back, not with me. Your cheeks flamed with heat, your smile shy but sweet. You tried to hide it by biting your lip, but Jungkook noticed. He reached up, his thumb brushing the delicate skin of your bottom lip, gently tugging it free. Yin, really? You breathed, unsure if you were blushing more from the words or the way he looked at you. He gave a soft hum, nodding as his eyes searched yours. Then, without letting the moment stretch any longer, he leaned in and captured your lips in a kiss that stole the air from your lungs. It started slow, careful, like he wanted to savor it, memorize the shape of your lips all over again. But the second he felt you sigh against his mouth, your body pressing closer into him, everything changed. He tilted his head, deepening the kiss. His lips parted more, molding against yours perfectly, almost desperately. His hand that had been cradling the back of your neck moved down to your waist, sliding under your top again, fingers stroking the soft skin of your lower back as he pulled you even closer. Your hands tangled in his hair, gripping gently, kneading him. Your lips moved with his in sync, breath becoming shallow as time seemed to disappear between you. A soft whimper escaped your throat when he moved to kiss down your jawline, his open mouth trailing heat and shivers across your skin. He paused at your neck, his lips brushing your pulse point before returning to your mouth like he couldn't stay away. And then, in the middle of the kiss, he whispered into you. He kissed you for minutes, slow, deep, endless kisses. It wasn't rushed, it was full of love and want. Between the kiss, he whispered, breathless, Jungkook, I love you, so much. Yin, I love you. Your heart fluttered at his words. You smiled against his lips and gently bit his lower lip, chewing on it playfully before whispering back, Yin, I love you more. Jungkook, I love you so much. And then your lips crashed into each other again, this time with more hunger, more heat, more need. His arms wrapped around your waist tightly like he never wanted to let go. His thumb stroked gentle circles against your back, and you swore his heart was beating as fast as yours. The world outside this moment didn't exist. It was just you and him, and the kind of love that feels like warm honey, soft, sweet, and thick enough to drown in. It was more than a kiss. It was home. It was everything.